So this is what it's been like playing my PS5 on a 3D compatible 1000-inch screen that is comparable to sitting in the middle of an IMAX theater, and it all fits on your head. You can plug pretty much any HDMI compatible device into this, making it very similar to a projector or a TV. The GOOVIS G3 Max is an open viewing VR-like system. I say VR-like because this is more comparable to just strapping a giant TV on your head. Honestly, I've had a ton of fun testing this thing out, and there is a lot of good I want to talk about, but also some flaws we need to mention along the way. This is a big purchase, and I want to make sure you make the right decision before adding it to your cart. Welcome to UG Tech, where I try to help consumers like you save money on streaming services and learn about the newest tech. If you enjoyed this video just a little bit, literally the best way to support me is just hit the subscribe button right down below. So GOOVIS sent me their luxury bundle, which comes with a few different accessories. First, you get the main G3 Max headset, which comes with an HDMI adapter, a USB-C cord that just isn't quite long enough, and honestly, you kind of need two USB-C cords, so I wish they would have included both. The device itself is ready to use. You get a very basic strap, but if that strap's not good enough, they do include this comfort strap with this package. And you get this really interesting wireless battery-powered TV dongle that we're going to test out later in the video. The main system is actually pretty simple. The strap itself can pull directly off of the headset and just push and lock back in when you're ready to use it. It has a relatively well-made build with a pretty interesting kind of futuristic design, because when you turn this on, you get this cool blue light that comes right out the front, and it gives you almost like a robot-like look. In terms of controls, it has a few different ones. You have your volume up and down, your brightness up and down, a 3D button right on the top if you're watching 3D content. You have a top USB-C port for power, and you have a side USB-C port for your HDMI transfer when you're using the adapter. On the bottom here, you have these dials that allow you to adjust the lens. This lets you line them up directly with your eyes so you get a clear picture. And both on the left and the right side, you have these adjustable diopters. Think of these as built-in contact lenses that can move from a -7 to a +2. What this means is you can use this device without needing contacts or glasses if you're within that range. All you have to do is turn the dial while you have the headset on until you see a clear picture, and that's when you know you're ready to use it. Let's talk really quickly about how you strap this on and use it for the first time. Getting this put on your head is actually really easy. You first have to put on this very basic strap here, and then what you can do is this actually rotates, and you can push the eyepiece up and just slide it on. From there, you just want to take the back straps and pull it until it's pretty tight and feels comfortable. And then you just... The great part about this band design is you don't only have this front strap that is going directly on your forehead, but you have these cushion pieces at the top too. And I noticed this really helps to distribute pressure while you're using it. One of my major worries was, how is this going to feel after I'm wearing it for an hour or 2 hours, a full movie? And I can say it was extremely comfortable the whole time, and it didn't irritate me at all. But then we have this added comfort strap option, and this makes things even easier. Pull off the old strap, and we can just hook the new comfort strap in its place. One there, and there we go. So now this one, you can actually turn this dial, and it's going to automatically tighten and loosen it. So when we put it on our head, you can see I now have this top adjustable piece right here, and I can just tighten, tighten, tighten. And this one does an even better job distributing the pressure, but not only that, it feels more secure on my head, and it makes putting it on and off just way easier. Now that we have that out of the way, how do we use this device for the first time? Well, the G3 Max actually has no internal software. Remember, this is not a VR headset. This is just a TV, and not even a smart one at that. It's also not battery powered, so we need to do two things. We need to input power and input video into it. And how we do that is utilizing this HDMI adapter that we got with the device. This allows us to connect basically any HDMI input device and transfer the video to the GOOVIS. Now what I had to do was connect the HDMI cord that was included into this GOOVIS adapter and then into my PS5 or whatever device I was using at the time. They included an HDMI cord, and honestly, I kind of wish they wouldn't. Why include like a foot long one? Why not just give us something a little bit longer? It's a little bit more leeway with all the other cords I'm connecting. But anyways, once you have that connected, you then want to run a USB-C cord from the Type-C port into a power source. And this is where I had a small issue. At first, I thought I would be able to run the USB-C cable directly to my PS5's USB-C power port. I thought it would provide enough to power this thing up, but that wasn't the case. I got flashing blue lights. So then I went downstairs and I got a little USB power block and I ran the USB-C cable directly to that, a different cable. And that still didn't provide enough power. So then I had to run downstairs and get the big guns, which is just a better USB-C power block, a better cord. I ran it, and this time it did provide enough power. The last thing you have to do is run your USB-C cable from the Type-C to the actual GOOVIS system. So yes, this is of course not a wireless device. And here I had a small issue as well, because GOOVIS gives you a pretty short cord. Like this should have been twice the length so I can actually adjust it around while I'm using it. And usually that wouldn't be a problem. I'm a tech guy. I have a ton of cords in the house. Except for the side port where I have to plug this into is only so big. So a lot of my longer USB-C cords actually had a little bit wider of a piece of, I don't know, plastic barrier here. And this meant it wouldn't fit into this side port. And I had to use this GOOVIS cord instead. Honestly, not the biggest deal. Could I have ordered one that would then fit into that slot? Most likely. But I feel like most USB-C cords should be able to fit into that. And I thought it would work with this top USB-C port as well, but this seems to be a power only port and video doesn't seem to transfer from it. For the most part, these are minor details that once you get it fixed, you don't have to worry about again, but definitely a little bit of feedback that should have been thought through with this system. Especially with the price you're paying, a few adjustments to your accessories can make a big deal. But enough of all that, let's talk about what it's like using this as a video player. For video resolution, this is a 2560 by 1440 with around 3528 pixels per inch. This is actually an extremely high resolution for this type of product. And I really did try to find other brands that had a similar device, but it's actually pretty niche. A lot of the other brands around the same price point require a computer hookup, or they have their own operating system, or they're a lower resolution. So although this is around 2-year-old tech, it still really is in a category of its own. Now this uses an ASPH optical system with 2.5K Sony micro OLED displays. And this is kind of what helps it create this 1000-inch style screen. If you're wondering what the ASPH optical system is, it's basically when they use lens with complex non-uniform curves to improve the image quality. And it's seen as an upgrade from the traditional spherical option. But getting back to that 1000-inch IMAX style screen, this is where I really like this device. If you've ever used like a MetaQuest or traditional VR device and you use Netflix, they make it feel like you're sitting in a theater. But for me, traditional VR really gives me a lot of motion sickness after a period of time, because no matter where you look around, the depth perception is always messed up. And if I look to the left, suddenly the screen is out of center. Or I look to the right, the screen is out of center. For me, this leads to a ton of motion sickness and I'm not able to use it for long periods of time. The G3 Max is actually quite different. With my MetaQuest 3, I can maybe use it for an hour max at a time. But because this is more of a TV and the way the depth perception works on it, I can use this for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. As long as it's comfortable on my head, I never really get tired of it. The video quality is absolutely stunning. Whether you're watching a movie, a TV show, some YouTube, or maybe you're gaming in 4K, the resolution really is crystal clear. And it honestly looks like I'm watching it on a high quality 4K TV, or even my $4,000 Nebula X1 projector that I just finished reviewing. It is very comparable to that. And for gamers, you're getting 120 Hertz refresh rate, so everything plays super smooth. I was going hard replaying Final Fantasy 16 with this thing on. I finished about 10 hours in it, and I just had a great time. No motion sickness, crystal clear, but there was one issue we'll talk about very shortly. One cool thing you can do is if you hold down the volume up button, it will actually change the screen distance / size. So there's there's 3 different modes it toggles between, and it makes the perception of the screen just seem a little bit smaller or a little bit larger. I found this really useful because I actually preferred the smaller model compared to the larger one because I didn't have to strain my eyes as much trying to peer to the corners of the screen. Also, back on topic with the MetaQuest, how when you look around, the screen doesn't move with you. This screen actually moves no matter where you look. So when they say it's an experience like you're sitting in the middle of an IMAX theater, it's that same experience even if I turn over on my back or I look to my right or my left. The screen follows you the whole time. It really did feel like I was sitting in a theater and I was watching this on a big screen, even though it's just a little device that's resting on my head. But now to talk about maybe one of the biggest negatives that honestly I just don't know why they didn't address with this device: the audio quality. I say this one thing anytime I review a projector. If you're gonna put speakers in that projector, let's make sure the speakers are at least half decent. And I kind of expected that this G3 Max would have some pretty decent speakers where I don't have to use external audio devices at the very least. But the reality is, this has the worst speaker quality I have ever tested in a device. What I'm gonna do is hook this up to a device and I'm gonna hold my little lav mic as close as I can so you guys can get an idea of what it sounds like. Okay, so I have it at max volume on one of my videos. I'm gonna put the microphone as close as I possibly can. Now let's see if you guys can hear this and hear the volume and the sound quality. Buzz TV Power Station 6 Unlimited, and it has some absolute crazy specs. Now in today's video, I think the craziest part is I can pretty much hear like my computer fans over this. Like, it's that underwhelming. Yeah, that is literally the worst audio I have ever heard out of a device. Like, it's embarrassingly bad. This is 2026 now, and although I believe this came out in 2023, why not charge $100 and just put some decent speakers in it? Is it a power issue? What is the problem with adding something that is usable? Because if you want to enjoy this, you have to put in some sort of headphones, so some AirPods, because you can't really wear over the ear style, or you have to hook this up to a portable speaker or sound system of some sort. And that means you have to go in the settings of your device, hook up that audio connection, and then you can enjoy using this. So I didn't want to spend too much time on this dongle, which comes both in their media and their luxury package, but it's basically just an Android box with a bit of a twist. And let me tell you what the twist is. We can see right here that it comes directly off of this right here. This is a power bank that you can put this little dongle, this is the Android box, onto its snap, and it will power it for a period of time. The whole purpose of this is essentially if you want to watch media, whether it's Netflix, Prime Video, or your own personal media on your headset without needing a separate powered device, what you can do is take this with you anywhere, connect it to your device, and you won't need external power. Basically just an Android box with a built-in power bank. But if you don't want to use the power bank component, you can also externally power this. It has a separate USB-C port just at the top here. Honestly, it's a cool little accessory they include, but I don't know how often you'll use this. I don't know if people will really use this on the go, like on flights and stuff like that. So personally, I probably could have done without this. The only thing I got from the package that I really liked was this extra strap, but the dongle itself, I don't know if it's worth any of the extra money that you might be paying for it. So I did actually ask GOOVIS about my power supply issue, and here's the response I got. It says the HDMI adapter requires a 5-volt 1-amp power supply, and using a power adapter with a higher wattage is not recommended as it may risk damage to the device. But of course, the problem I had is every other power adapter I used clearly was not supplying enough power because all I would get is a blinking blue light. So here is my final thoughts on the GOOVIS G3 Max. It's kind of like a standalone category. You know, you have TVs, you have portable devices like tablets and phones, you have projectors, and now you have wearable TVs basically, because that's kind of what it is. And as much as I love projectors, this is a little different in that you can use this at any time of the day without needing, you know, a certain amount of lumens. It's always going to be the same experience. Because of the way the seal works all the way around your eyes, there's no light that gets in, and you just get this IMAX style experience, like they say, any time of the day. With that being said, it starts at around $1,200 regular price, and it only goes up as you get either the cinema bundle or the luxury bundle, and that is a good chunk of change strange for a product that is only an input device. This has no actual VR capabilities, which is why I find it weird they call it a VR headset. I don't think that's really an accurate description. For myself, overall, would I rather have a MetaQuest because it does a bit more? Yes, but if you're only looking to just play games on your PS5, Xbox, or watch movies, this is definitely a better device because, again, you don't have that level of motion sickness, for myself anyways, I don't know if you guys are the same, on this device compared to other VR style devices. So I've linked the product to the GOOVIS G3 Max right down below with any coupon code that they've included, so you guys can get a discount if you do want to check it out. It is definitely a niche product for a certain type of person, but if you get it, I think you'll really enjoy it as long as you have an external audio source of some sort, whether it's headphones or a giant speaker right near you while you're using it. So thank you guys for watching. Like always, hit that subscribe button right down below. I'll see you guys